All right. What's going on, everybody? I came to realize I'm not going to call my podcast Rock Vegas anymore. I don't know. Just for whatever reason, like, just don't think I think I'm going to move away from that name. Um, Probably just I don't know. I'm just going to say Glen Rockney talks about this. Glen Rockney talks about that. I think that's better because it's YouTube only now, so I don't really need like a podcast name. Um, if you can come up with a name, leave it in the chat, but or leave it in the comments if you're watching this later. But I do all these live. I like doing my sports stuff live. It helps me not think as much, which is good. Some of you might disagree. Some of you prefer I would think more. And to that I say no, I'm not going to. But yeah, let's talk Raiders. Okay. Last video I had was a scathing rant on why the Raiders suck so bad, because that loss to the Chiefs, they deserved it, and I don't regret any of it. Sometimes I regret when I go off on the Raiders, like, come on, Glenn, what are you doing? So like, temper your emotions. But I'm still mad. They're not really in my good graces right now, and it's tough for me to say they could beat any team right now. All right, if any team walked through that door, I'd be like, Raiders going to win that game this weekend, because we know that's how the Raiders are. It's like a baseball player, like a very streaky baseball player, but the streak is very predictable. Let's say a baseball player, right? He'll be lining it up off of good pitchers, right? Early in the season, lining it up, boom, boom, squaring it up, doubling the gap, home run. But then, later in the season, it could be a Make-A-Wish Foundation kid and the guy's not hitting him. It just, you couldn't hit water if you fell out of a boat, all the sayings. And, I think that's where the Raiders are right now. Again, a good game this weekend changes a lot. Winning cures it all, right? I'm not negative all the time. If they win this weekend, and it does not have to be a pretty win. I don't even care. Just win the game. You're getting to that point of the year where it doesn't matter how you win. You just win. Like, you can say that about any week of the year, but you've gotten past the like, ooh, what is this team? Like you're to the point where it's sink or swim, especially in this AFC. Still crazy that what am I trying to say? It's still crazy that the Raiders are 5-4. It's I keep thinking they're like sub 500 right now. It's kind of weird that they're even still like in it, because people, I'll listen to NFL podcasts during the week and they're like, the Raiders bounced back this week, like, and they'll be right back in it. And it's like, that's true. Mathematically true. To an outsider watching the Raiders, you could be like, yeah, a couple bad games, right? Especially with what happened with Henry Ruggs. But they have yet to replace him in the offense. And there's other stuff that's wrong with the team. I think even if Henry Ruggs was playing against the Chiefs, it's clear from the film breakdowns I've seen that the line was not holding up in pass protection to even get those deep shots ready to go. Maybe Ruggs runs the route a little faster. Maybe the ball comes out quicker. Maybe. But the guards were getting beat all game, Leatherwood and Simpson on the inside in pass pro. And they couldn't run the ball. The Raiders couldn't run the ball. Now this week, Raiders are playing the Bengals. And the Bengals have good edge players. Okay corners, I'd say. Chidobe Awuzie at the beginning of the year looked really good, but I think he's been a little more human, a little bit more like what he was. Shout out Chidobe Awuzie. He's a Bay Area legend, 408 guy. I believe he went to Oak Grove, if I'm not mistaken, which is dope. Shout out to him, but hopefully we torch him this weekend. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I think the Raiders' best bet is to attack those linebackers in the middle of the field. You can do some stuff against the corners. I'm just not really confident that like Brian Edwards and I got to see it from Deshaun Jackson. I'm not going to put that fumble to Deshaun Jackson because I understand Deshaun Jackson is a all pro level career, so I know he doesn't fumble every week. I understand that's not a thing with him, but it's nice to see they were able to get him some open looks last week, so that could be encouraging. He's a veteran that knows how to get open deep. Maybe that'll help. But they're going to have to try to get the ball to Waller underneath, because the deep plays to Waller just aren't there. And you're not going to get them, especially if Waller is your only deep threat that can catch the ball down the field consistently. I don't think that's going to be there. And throw to the running backs. I saw that the Bengals give up the fourth most yards in the leagues to running backs in the receiving game. So throw the ball to them. Throw the ball to Kenyon Drake. I much rather him catch the ball than run the ball. His vision is very odd sometimes, to say the least. Like, there was that one play where he just ran into Melvin Ingram on a toss. Like, just unbelievable. Like, what are you doing? You're fast. You're faster than Melvin Ingram. Just keep running. Cuts it back in, just gets like annihilated. And just throw it to him. Throw it to your running backs on first down. Swing pass. Boom. Step in the flat. Swing pass. One-on-one with your running back. I trust Kenyon Drake against a lot of linebackers, especially on the outside in the flat. Josh Jacobs kind of in the doghouse with me right now. Not gonna lie. I have not seen the value of Josh Jacobs on this team this year. I don't really see what he brings to the team. He is not the best red zone running back. He is okay catching the ball, but in short yardage situations, he's like not getting the first downs. And he's not explosive enough to make a big play. And I think he has to be perfect in his vision, or else plays don't get made, right? He just does not have that breakaway speed. So you're kind of in an interesting scenario where you have a couple running backs, and neither of them I love just taking a handoff, So they're gonna have to throw and get a screen going, man. Get a screen going. Get it early. Go get like second drive of the game. It doesn't have to be right off the bat, because you want the defense to kind of get into a groove of thinking they know what your offense is doing. But then, if you're having trouble blocking guys, especially, and you trashed your offensive lineman, just threw it in the trash in the offseason for faster, speedier guys, put that speed to use. Get the screen game going. And now I'm not talking just a bubble screen either, like to Hunter Renfrow. I like Hunter Renfrow as much as anybody, and he's had some of the only receiving touchdowns the last couple of games. I mean, let's be real. But I want to see Hunter Renfrow running more traditional routes rather than screens, in my opinion. I think his route running is so good that I think that's where he truly stands out, and I want to get back to that. And this is kind of going to be the 2019 Raiders, unfortunately. Like, this is the 2019 Raiders, where they had no wide receivers. The problem is they had a better offensive line that year, right? So you have the 2019 Raiders right now, especially without Ruggs. It's a lot like 2019, where you had, who was it? Like, I'm trying to think you had Zay Jones and guys like that on the outside, where you just couldn't get anything going. Guys that couldn't separate, but it's really tough to also go jumbo formation and just run it down teams' throats, because your offensive line is just not all that good. So, and the defense is just not to be dependent on, unfortunately. Not like that. I think this week they'll be going against quite frankly, a bad offensive line on defense. I think on the tackles, they're not great. I think they're just okay. Tyrell Williams, thank you. I don't know why I couldn't think of that. And even then, he was hardly out there. Tyrell Williams in 2019. I remember that. I liked Tyrell Williams when he played, to be honest. I remember a lot of people soured on him after that really heartbreaking loss against Houston, where he didn't come up with that contested catch. Got stripped by I think it was Gary and Conley. And then, they're supposed to have Antonio Brown, of course. So, they didn't have Antonio Brown. That was kind of when they went all in right there on those couple guys. Year before, trading for Martavis Bryant, and then you draft Henry Ruggs, who, albeit was going to be a nice deep threat for this team, and then you have the Henry Ruggs situation. So wide receivers has been it's been tough finding outside wide receivers. And Bryan Edwards, I think, is going to have a role in the NFL for, a decent amount of time. It's just, he's not what we need him to be right now. And he was never built to be that either. He's never built to be a separator. He was built to be a red zone contested catch guy. and maybe some yards. He can get some create yards after the catch. I do like that, but yeah, tough to do that. So this defense, you have, I think the book is out on the Raiders defense, and it's up to Gus Bradley to adjust. And it, as BD Williams pointed out, they haven't adjusted. They played the exact same defense that Gus Bradley's played against Patrick Mahomes since Patrick Mahomes has been in the league, essentially, because that's where Bradley's been with the Chargers that whole time. And, teams are going to figure that out. And I think Burrow's another quarterback that, to be honest, is more fit to figure out to take the checkdowns. I think Burrow's totally fine getting rid of the ball fast. He has to. His offensive line's terrible. There's going to be a lot of pressure, I believe, in this game on both teams. Just a lot of pressure. Trey Hendrickson and then I believe Max Crosby and Ngakoue are going to get home a lot. But the Bengals can run it with Joe Mixon, and they throw to him a lot too. And I think that's what you're going to see early. You're going to see screens to Chase, swing passes to Joe Mixon. That was his name, Bobby Evans or something like that. That pass catching back they have is really nice too. And CJ Uzoma, he's, if you play fantasy, you might have had to pick him up off the waiver wire, but he's been good. He's a good red zone target. He's second on the team in touchdowns to Jamar Chase, of course. And it's funny because like Jamar Chase, he could totally go off, but like I'm not as worried about him. I think the Raiders are going to try to erase him and try to not give up the big play to him down the field, which they've still done a good job against the deep ball, right? Like they're pretty good against that. It's just the problem where you have Perriman and Abram on the field at the same time, two guys that absolutely cannot cover. You're going to see, like I said, a run stopping linebacker and a run stopping box safety. And if teams just want to throw on first down, the Raiders are like, well, I guess go ahead. So, yeah, and I say it in the chat, just another DJ saying, how did the Raiders just consistently give up 5 to 8 yards on first down? It's because I think they're petrified of the ball going over their head, and rightfully so. And it's just because you don't have people who can cover. You don't have the underneath coverage is not great. I think Corey Littleton's okay is fair to say, I guess, but Perriman's not covering anybody. Jonathan Abram's not covering anybody. Like I agree with people that want him benched. He does not do anything for this team, Jonathan Abram. He cannot cover. Roderick Teamer is a more sound box safety than Jonathan Abram. I'm sorry, it's today's NFL. Maybe in 1981, Jonathan Abram would be really good, but it's just not. It's not that time anymore. Like I hate to break it to you, and anyways. I think that the Bengals are going to try to get the Raiders on the quick passing game. And the Raiders are going to have to try to, I don't know how you take that away other than just tackling it early, which they weren't able to do against the Chiefs. And I'd argue that the Bengals have a better receiving core than the Chiefs, right? I mean, is that fair to say? Tyreek Hill's really good. Travis Kelce's really good, but the Bengals have some guys, man. Jamar Chase is having an incredible rookie season, coming off a bye too. And then T. Higgins, really good. Tyler Boyd, those three guys are really good. CJ Uzoma is a solid tight end and can make a big play. So they're going to have to tackle underneath and make and get off the field on third down, which for the most part of the year, the Raiders defense has done well. They didn't do that against Kansas City. Now, okay. You're probably thinking like, Glenn, why am I listening to this right now? You just think we're going to get killed. I honestly do think the Raiders are going to lose this game. I will say that much. However, here's a scenario where the Raiders win this game. What month of it in the year? I mean, this isn't fair. This is going to be an indoor game. So I think Joe Burrow, there's a lot of questions about his arm strength. In terms of arm strength, Joe Burrow is bottom of the league. I'm talking about like just pure arm strength. So if the Raiders give him some small windows to throw to, Burrow's had a lot of his interceptions have come from like guys being open, but when the ball just needed to have that zip on it. Like if you watch the pick six that he threw against Cleveland, their last game where they got killed. Because make no mistake, the Bengals are struggling right now. They absolutely are. But they're coming off a bye. Maybe they got something fixed. That's what scares me. Now, Burrow, he throws an interception to, I want to say that was Denzel Ward. It was a great play by Denzel Ward, but you have to wonder if there was a quarterback that had a little more zip on the ball, does Denzel Ward just not get to that ball? And you see with some of the zone coverage that the Raiders play, Burrow could get a little too aggressive in that zone coverage and not have the mustard on the ball to get it before, Corey Littleton crashes on it, Casey Hayward, some of these guys. And to be fair, Patrick Mahomes did the same thing. I think the Raiders dropped 3 interceptions. 2 at least against the Chiefs. So catch the ball. When the team gives you the ball, catch it. That's the other way. I mean, that's the other thing. I mean, get yourself extra possessions. And then on offense, I think, man, we need some yards after the catch. Yards after the catch. 83. Darren Waller, where are you at? He gets open. I'm not saying he doesn't. I don't think he's playing bad this year. I think he's doing his job. They just got to find a way to get him that ball. If you truly are a top weapon in this league, which he's gotten to that point where people do consider him that, get him that ball. And I'm not talking about on a dig route because Waller's not the best off of dig routes. I'm talking where he catches it in stride. Get it, run him on a slant, put him outside receiver, Darren Waller. Marcus Johnson put out a really good tweet saying that Darren Waller has to help Brandon Parker chip or else Brandon Parker gets beat. So my thing is get Darren Waller on a quick route where he can catch the ball in stride and not just come back, boom, now I got to move my big fucking 6'6" body and shake this linebacker off me. That's not really his game. His game is catch and run, gazelle time. You know what I'm saying? Gazelle time. And I think they're going to do that, right? This is a scenario where the Raiders win, right? And take that deep shot to Deshaun Jackson if you can, If that offensive line holds up even in the slightest, take that shot. I still think Carr is a really good deep ball thrower when he's kept clean. And he doesn't do himself a lot of favors sometimes because he goes down pretty quick. Like if you slap the grass next to him, his foot starts trembling and then he falls over like it's an earthquake. Like it does happen. But I see a lot of teams hitting these big plays, and the Raiders need to get back to that. And I understand they're missing their big play guy. I understand he's never coming back, unfortunately. But get Deshaun Jackson the ball, have him running deep early, and the offensive line has to keep Carr upright. Just has to. I'm sorry. We don't have a mobile quarterback. If people say Mariota's coming in, it doesn't look like that's going to happen. So not without, Carr forcing the issue, getting hurt or something. But the Raiders can easily win this game. They can. I do think they're kind of the same team as the Bengals. And yeah, get the ball to Edwards early. Treat Edwards like Anquan Bolden. Now, I don't believe Edwards is as good as Anquan Bolden, but he's a similar type of player. Get him that ball and let him bruise after the catch. Be a bruiser. Like, be physical. Wear down these DBs. Wear them down early. Like I said, I've never been like the biggest fan of the Raiders trying to take these big shots all the time. I still think that there are yards to be had underneath, and I still think that these running backs on first down, if you can't run the ball on first down, pass it to the running back. I sound like a broken record on this podcast, but get that ball to them in stride. Let them run. They can get out of bounds, save hits on themselves, and also just awareness too. Get the first down. I feel like the Raiders have had more like inches to go on 3rd and 4th down than like any team. I can't quantify that. I'm probably not even right. I think it's gonna. I think it's just gonna come down to like 3 or 4 big plays in this game, right? Who makes those plays? Who gets the sack fumbles? Right? Is it Yannick and Max, or is it Trey Hendrickson? We don't know that. Who gets the interceptions, right? Is it Jesse Bates? Or is it, Trayvon Merrick? It's what a lot of these games come down to. The Raiders were in that game against Kansas City. Now, I don't know if they end up winning it, but they were in the game until Deshaun Jackson fumbled the ball. I mean, they're backbreakers. They're backbreakers. Okay, so enough about that. I don't expect the Raiders to win because look, I'm sorry, I'm soured on them right now. Now, if they win, I could be back, but it'll be very funny if they're 6-4, just like the last 2 years going down the stretch. But that being said, win the game, right? Still, I'd take the chance of being 6-4 and just rolling the dice again and seeing where we go. Like I feel a lot better about it. So I got one question from James Magnolia. Who do you see the Raiders targeting in free agent or the draft at wide receiver? Let's see. Let's take a look. Let's take a look at NFL free agents 2022 because he thinks the season's over, which I've been there too. I've been there too. I'm not in mock draft mode yet, although a bad loss and then a loss at Thanksgiving, I think I'm in draft mode at that point. Although we might not get the Amari Cooper reunion. It looks like he might miss the Thursday game going on with that. But let's see. Top 30 NFL free agents in 2022. Now a lot could change. You could see guys get cut or guys having a fallout with their team. But this is a slideshow. I fucking hate slideshows when blogs do that. They just show me the damn free agents, please. Like, come on. Okay, so let's take a look. Pretty good free agent class of wide receivers. You got Devontae Adams, number one. If Carr's still the quarterback, I could definitely see him trying to make a move for sure. And I could definitely see that happening. You figure that they have a good relationship, right? College wide receiver, definitely helped each other get to the NFL. That's probably not nothing. Allen Robinson, number two. I was fine with them maybe trading for him this year, but it's not a guy I go out and sign. It also doesn't seem to be the Raiders' issue having a contested catch guy like that. Chris Godwin, very interesting. Find him very interesting. He gets injured a lot, but it is a worthy gamble. A guy that I would really like that I see here is Michael Gallup. I don't see how Dallas pays him next year. And maybe they do because he's coming back this year. And if he has a good last stretch for the Cowboys, and I think he's a big play guy. Michael Gallup is a big play guy. His hands are a little inconsistent. He's definitely going to be a guy that pisses you off from time to time. But I could also see Michael Gallup being a really good free agent. Like I think his deal would be similar to like Nelson Aguilar, maybe a little bit higher than what he got with the Patriots. So you might be overpaying a little bit, but I think that'd be a good guy to go after in the offseason. DJ Chark, who I do like. I like DJ Chark. Will Fuller. I mean, come on, what are you gonna get? You really want a guy to play for 3 games? Antonio Brown, that's not happening. Cortland Sutton's an interesting one, although it's still he's a dog for sure, but it's still kind of like you want the Raiders seem to have the big, strong guys. We want a separator. And I think Michael Gallup would be a nice look. And again, in the draft, I'm not sure. I haven't studied the draft yet. I don't know what's going with. I really enjoy watching Drake London, even though I hate the school that he plays for. Go Irish. Yeah, USC's trash. But who else? Sorry, I'm just thinking about Notre Dame just beating the shit out of USC. Oh God, so good. Treylon Burks out of Arkansas. I mean, there's some guys in this league. We could go the Alabama route again. Depends on where they're picking. I don't know if the Raiders are going to necessarily just circle wide receiver round 1. I mean, they could go a lot of places. You could go defensive tackle. You could go depends on where they're picking. I think they'll probably at worst be picking 15 or 14 around there. And then let's see. Yeah. As people say Gallup's been hurt 2 of the last 3 years. I don't know. I mean, yeah, guys get hurt. I mean, they do. What are you going to do? Like, guys get hurt. Allen Robinson gets hurt. Chris Godwin gets hurt. Devontae Adams has been hurt. This year, Devontae Adams has been remarkably healthy, but he's missed games the last few years. I mean, wide receivers get hurt. It's the NFL. So, yeah, I don't know. The Raiders don't necessarily have to do that, and I'd rather you want the number one guy. I understand going out there and trying to get a number one guy, but in the same way, like to fix their offensive line next year, I want them to get back to average at positions rather than like, let's get a fucking Hall of Fame center. Like, no. Spread out that money to like 3 or 4 average O linemen. You know what I'm saying? Two or three average O linemen instead of just splurging on one, right? And I think on the receiving core, you could do a similar thing. You can get a couple guys like how I'm trying to think like kind of how the Panthers did, you know what I mean? Like or Washington or like teams like go get like a Curtis Samuel or somebody how Washington got Curtis Samuel this year. Maybe not the best example, but there's the Patriots did a decent job too because the Raiders should have some money coming up because none of those first round picks from the last couple of years are getting second contracts, so they're not worrying about paying those. You're gonna have to eventually pay Max Crosby and who else, honestly. So they will definitely have some money to spend. And but let's not look too okay. Look, I'm soured on the Raiders, but they're not done yet. They're not done mathematically, so I can't do that yet. But two more losses in a row. I'm out. So then we're draft mode. So that's it for me, guys. Thanks. I'm gonna actually, if you're, I'm gonna do another stream right now. If you guys want to stick around, I'm gonna start a new one. I'll post the link. It's going to be I'm gonna go through the NFL gambling lines this week and talk about some of my favorite bets of the week. So if you guys are into that, go ahead. If not, I'll see you guys after the game on Sunday. So, all right. I'll talk to you guys later. I'm Glen Rockney. Follow me on Twitter at Glen Rockney. Subscribe to the channel if you don't already. And see you guys later.